All right. Well, I'm here with Leshan, and Leshan is one of our more recent graduates of the program of Deep Clean Signature. Leshan, thanks for being on here and being brave enough to share your story, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what life looked like when you were considering Deep Clean. Tell us a little bit about just what was the situation and what drove you to the point of needing to reach out and get some extra help.
My story was like I really had this thing like, you know, I when I got married, like I had a lot of issues with even having intimacy with my wife. Even before I was when I was single as well, had a lot
Mm-hmm.
of issues like with my identity issues as well. At the same time, like having like I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I had this thing like the porn was like really controlling me. Like
Yeah.
it to a point that like it kind of the porn was actually really calling the shots of in my life. Like
Hmm.
it really makes me like, I felt like I was really being really addicted, like really going into them. Then it came to a point that it created a lot of issues even when I was single, like, and it created a lot of issues. It actually created more issues after I got married between like me and my wife. And it came to a point, enough is enough. I need to take action and I'm
Yeah.
going to do something. And that's where I found your program.
Yeah, yeah. What kind of issues was it creating between you and your wife? You talked about intimacy. Was that emotional intimacy or physical intimacy? And what were the issues that were at play here?
Lot of issues with the lot of emotional intimacy and a lot of physical issues too. Like I
Mm,
wasn't really really getting attracted to my wife,
hmm.
and when I was getting my sexual urges, I was always like was looking into to like a quick kind of trying to get a quick release of going that, but I was not really trying my best to really to be natural with my wife and everything. So it was never enough. Like my wife, like having natural like natural sex was never enough for me. Like I thought myself
Mm.
like, I was not attracted to her, or what is going on, like all these issues start coming up, and I was kind of really not uh being really sexually active. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. I was not sexually active at all.
Yeah, wow, wow. Thanks for being so transparent, man. I appreciate that. So, why did you decide to do deep clean? And we don't have to go super deep into this, but I guess I'm just curious. What was it that made you say, I want to do this program and get some help?
I knew this was a big deal. Like it was creating more issues.
Hmm.
And when I jump into deep clean, like when I look for deep clean, like I wanted something that was authentic, somebody who really had experience, like which I had, which is you had a lot of stories, like you shared Satya, like, and I was really kind of like I heard some of your stories, and I'm like, I think this is something different. Maybe I need to really try. Like there are a lot of programs out there, but I wanted something which is very like transparent that will help me, like something a story that I had
Yeah.
that will bring me into that. So that's why I decided, you know what? I'm gonna give a try. I'm gonna give a try. I'm gonna go with what I'm like really expectation, and I'll let the rest God to take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happened. You know, you did your part, and God really did something really powerful in your life. So, just tell the people a little bit about what happened when you got into deep clean, and what were some of the changes that started to happen in your life.
Yeah, a good question. What happened was actually your videos was really speak about the truth, about not just the things that happening in emotionally, even physically as well, especially the
Mm,
brain. Like I think what happened to me was like lack of knowledge and a lot of ungodly belief, like
hmm,
negative thinking. Your videos actually created a lot of hope, and I in a point I thought, I will never come out from this. Like that was my before I joined. Even when I joined the deep playing, I had a lot of doubts, a lot of doubts. I
Yeah.
thought this is just going to be a waste of money and this. But I remember like when I start watching your videos from one like video one to a lot of things, it make really sense. Then
Hmm.
I realized all of a sudden, because the scripture says that truth will set you free. Your videos really speak truth. Like in there, it tells you like, then I realized, okay, like this is not a problem in myself. There is hope and I can come out. And you really go deeper. Your videos really focus about the root of the issue, like which is like that really set me free. I'm like, oh my
Hmm.
god, I didn't know this. Like I thought like this is all my it is a problem with myself. I thought I'm the only one who's struggling at this. This is something wrong with myself. I thought I will never come out. But your videos really went deep. Like they really touched like where it has to be really covered. And that really made me like, okay, I can come out from this. That gave me hope. And
Wow.
it was amazing. Like, when I hear certain things, like I was like, whoa, like this makes sense. This completely makes sense. And that's what exactly happened.
That's amazing, man. So it sounds like that's kind of what was going on internally. Like you were getting exposed to the truth was setting you free. And then I still remember you were starting to come into the calls and you looked different. You know, you were happier, you were lighter. It was very clear that like a transformation was taking place. What were
Mhm.
some of the changes that started to happen a bit more visibly? I know your wife became a lot happier in the marriage. You can talk about that, but I know some changes happened to you personally as well. What was starting to actually change in a more visible way in your life?
Thinking, I'll say the biggest thing that was my thoughts. Like
Mm.
before I had a lot of negative thinking of myself, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
personality issues. Like personality means like identity issues. I had a lot of negative thinking, like, right. So when I start recovering from it, like I start realizing all of a sudden, like, oh, like wow, like there are things like self-motivation started all of a sudden, like
Mm.
the break, like like when I start recovering from it, like motivation, like and start trusting myself, hope. There's like so many things start coming out on myself. And not only that, I never, then after that, I didn't struggle with, like, I felt like I was struggling with anxiety. Like when I was addicted for the porn, I
Mm.
felt like I was struggling with anxiety or with the depression. But what I noticed, the most important thing, like when I start recovering, all those things actually kind of start disappearing. Like I
Mm.
had more confidence. Like that's the most important thing. I had more confidence before. I had this thing like, oh, I'm a person who's rejected. Like I had this thing like, oh, I because of the guilt that I was holding in my heart for such a long time, everything kind of like broke. I felt like it would start leaving. Like more
Mm.
when I start get to know and start getting into the to the course, like start watching the video, like it kind of made me so the rejection and the guilt, and these are the most important thing that start leaving me. And I can tell you myself, like I don't want it to be I have ever since that my thoughts and my thinking has been changed, completely changed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. What was the change that your wife observed?
Oh, she observed the most important thing she observed though. Be honest to you, like when I was start watching porn and when I'm being acting in masturbation, like me and my wife, like I always were angry person with her. I don't know how it's like that, but your videos really explained it like deeply about these things, and I was very angry with her all the time, and
Hmm.
I was impatient. Like I couldn't even like stand her.
Hmm.
Like it came to a point like I cannot even stand her. Anything she will say, like I will flip right away. What she noticed was like it actually disappeared, like day by day. She noticed
Jeez.
like she saw me. She was like, Like, even though here I am not angry anymore, here I am not, I don't flip like that, and I don't like get into arguments or fight like that. Like, and not only that, I start seeing her like a wife, like really like somebody that who I care and loving. Before I didn't have that. Like, before I didn't have
Mm,
that. She realized that completely, and she was like, Leshan, like, you would change and you are different. And I'm like, really? Like, I know I wasn't watching porn and being acting masturbation, but she started realizing, like, Leshan, like, there's something is different in you, like something like your face, there's like so many things that's being like, because I don't, like, she realized that I don't have that guilt or shame anymore, because she knew
yeah.
that I was watching before and how I react. Even though sometimes when I come out from the room or come out from the washroom, like, she had this doubt, like, okay, I did this, but she realized that this, it's not there anymore, and there are a lot of changes has happened during that time, and she noticed it like right away. Like, even
Wow.
around me had noticed that too, like, but they don't know exactly what was the change though. But I know myself that changed, not just happened inside of my heart, like just inside, it actually happening outside too.
Yeah, wow. Dude, that is, I mean, that's the price of admission right there. That is so incredible.
Mhm.
We were trying to do some math before we hit record. We don't track streaks or that kind of thing here, so we don't pay tons of attention. But roughly, how long has it been since your last relapse, LaShawn?
I'll say like it's been over 5 months though.
Yeah,
I think we are hitting 6 months. I think this
yeah.
is the longest I have ever had been, and honest to you, like, I don't even have cravings anymore, like to watch
Wow.
like any porn or anything. Like, it like, even if I get a thought of it, like right away, it disgusting feeling. Like, I can understand it's disgusting. As soon as, if I get a feeling, it comes as a disgusting, like, like something like I'm just don't want even to be there, like stand or not even think about it. That's the feeling that I'm right now, and I'm enjoying that. I'm really enjoying that. Like,
Yeah, I bet you are.
yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Like, it's just the new myself, like new me, kind of a new Leshan kind of a thing. Like, because before I used to love those things. Before, like, I used to like just take them in, but then everything just changed after that. Yeah, yeah,
Man,
yeah,
man. So paint us a little picture now about what life looks like. When you came to Deep Clean, I'm just reading some of the notes because when people do
yeah.
book a call and they want to join, I take some notes because I really want to understand people's situation. But you talked about how your wife didn't really understand your situation. Sometimes she wouldn't even talk to you from the hurt. You felt called to serve more in the church and elsewhere, but you didn't feel worthy. You felt like a hypocrite. You felt guilty when you would approach God, knowing that you had this in your past, and emotionally you knew that you were kind of closed and shut off. But you had dreams, right, about serving God more, not living a double life, being more confident in yourself, not having the guilt and the burden every day, and obviously having more trust in your marriage. Just paint us a little picture about what does life look like for you now. What's a typical day for LaShawn now that you're free of porn for coming up on 6 months here?
Oh, just a new me. Be just new me, not it being just new me, being authentic, not
Hmm.
living a double life. Before, nobody knew about my story, about what I'm doing behind the closed doors, except my
Yeah.
wife. But now I can go talk to people, share about God, and even like to be testified about what God did in my life without even holding any shame or the guilt or anything. Like, I really feel like before I couldn't even look at somebody's like eyes and like talk to them, because I had that guilt like in my heart, like even though when I talk about God, like, because I know that something was holding me, but now I don't have that. Like, I can just stand wherever I like, I can feel that I'm worthy now. I'm worthy.
Hmm.
Like, I'm like, I'm not, I'm guilt free, and I'm shame, like I'm not shamed anymore, like to
Wow.
be wherever God calls me to be. And that's a big deal for me.
Yeah, that's a big deal, man. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So, LaShawn, you're talking to some guys who maybe are in the kind of boat that you were in 6 to 8 months ago, where maybe they know they need some help, but there's all the doubts. is this really worth my time? Is it worth my money? What if it fails? What if there's just something wrong with me? Maybe this program is great. It worked for you, Lashawn. That's so awesome, but you don't know my story. What would you say to somebody who maybe is dealing with those doubts?
You know, if God can do this to me, He can do this to anybody else. I'll tell you
Yes.
that story. It's because I don't think even Satya knows this story well, because this will help a lot of people. My story was like I was like sexually abused when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Like I
Mm,
had been molested by like my relative, and it continued, and that
wow.
lot put me a lot of pain in me. So you the reason why I'm sharing this, that you will understand how deep it was, my pain, like my hurt, and the root cause is like the wound. Like so you can understand, if God can do that in me, like somebody who had that kind of a bad experience, like since I was 7 or 8 years old, and continued till I was a teenager. Like, just imagine, like, if God can heal somebody like me, He can heal anybody else. The most important thing you need to understand is like you need to know, like, is like, are you really ready to get set free? When I came to you, Satya, I remember, like, I was like dead serious. I said, enough is enough. I need to take action. Instead of porn is going to control me, I came to, like, no, I'm going to take control of my life. I'm not
Good.
going to let this going to control me enough, because I struggle with porn, I'll say, like almost 20 years in my
Mm,
life,
wow.
right? 20 years of, like, it took 20 years of my life that, pretty much like it was like a cancer, like a destroying my life. Not that it was trying to destroy my marriage, and so what really said, like, really figured, like, helped me was actually, I was like, you know, am I serious about this? What do I really want? Like, is it
Yeah.
something, am I serious about it? For example, I'll say, even though I've been set free for last 5 to 6 months now, been um I don't put myself, like, my phone is still locked. I will never put myself front of, like, alone on a watching a TV, like Netflix or TV shows, or my phone. My phone, I have a screen time on my phone, like only 30 minutes. Like, if I wanted to watch a YouTube or something like that, because my wife has
Sweet.
full control. So it is like, you need to understand. Like, I know, like, sometimes I have heard stories, like, sometimes, like, oh, you need to know where is a trap, where, like, you need to know what is the enemy's plan, what he's trying to, like, where you get tempted. Let's see, if you're always falling into to the temptation, like a sin, like falling into watching porn, or falling into masturbation or something, you
Mm,
need to find out where is the root cause, where is this really happening. You need to actually, if you not just getting a mental number, I think the best thing to do is to write it down, where is your problem. Whoever wants to really to get help, like, through this program, first thing I want to tell you is, like, first, are you serious about this?
mm,
Like, that's the most important thing. Are you serious? Like, all you need to be, just take a time and breathe, and just be serious about it, and take it, because otherwise you're gonna waste your time and your money, and you're gonna, like, you're just gonna come out like with nothing. Like,
mm.
and to me, like, the most important, like, I put boundaries on, like, where, like, I build the boundaries, like, just to make sure that the enemy cannot come in, and
Yes.
I keep doing it, and even for today, like, even until today, like, I will never sit front of a, like, alone. I won't put myself alone, like, either watch a Netflix or something like that without my wife is there, even though I've been recovered. It's not
Yeah.
because I don't trust myself, it's just because of, I just don't wanted to put myself that, that I can,
Yeah.
like,
Why
I
put
just
yourself in that position?
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
Good. So good, man. So good. Okay, my last question to you. Why did you almost not do deep clean?
Um, I it's just, to me, was like, it's just like a lot of doubt that I had in my heart. Like, I was like, am I really going to do this? Like the time, like there's so much of lot of negative thinking that came
Mm.
and hit me. Like I was like, and the shame also because I didn't know who will be there and people will judge me, how I'm going to open this up, like what if the people find out and all these things. But then I realized, like, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna do this for you, God. I'm gonna do it for my wife, like, and myself too. I said, like, that I had a lot of doubt. Like, I felt that I will be judged by people around me. But when I came to deep clean and seeing there are other brothers that is going through exactly the same thing, that was like, okay, now I am feeling like, now I'm like on the right place, you know
Yeah,
and I was so like, it's just like, I was actually really praying to God, like, God, I need help and I'm serious this time. I tried before with so many other things, but nothing really helped me and worked this far, because I think what happened was God really saw that I was really serious this time, and I was like, God, I need you to help me to set free. And
yeah,
God used this program and you, Satya, like to really to touch my, like, help me out to come out from a prison that I was being, like it was a chain. Like I felt those like shackles just felt off after everything. Like, and I'm not the same person anymore. I wish if I could say, more, but it's just I'm not the same person anymore. 6 months ago,
yeah.
like, I was not the same person. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's been amazing. It's like watching you transform before our very eyes. It's been incredible. You should be really proud of yourself, LaShawn. And obviously, even just the fact that you are willing to share your story, I think so transparently, speaks volumes about you. And it speaks volumes about the work that God's done in your heart and in your life. So thanks for being here today, man. Thanks for sharing some of your story. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Satya. Thanks for having me.